I wanted to give you a little more information about the evaluation essay that you're working on. In particular, how the criteria, judgment, evidence, and opposing views all work together, as well as what kind of research might be beneficial to your paper. Criteria are the commonly accepted standards used to judge something. So whatever you choose for your topic, ask yourself, how do people judge this kind of thing? So for example, if I'm creating an evaluation of a contractor, I've been dealing with contractors here in the aftermath of the derecho. What do people want in a contractor? Well, someone who's on time, who does the work correctly, who has fair prices, who has effective communication, professional behavior, and all the appropriate licenses. Obviously, if you are evaluating a movie, you would have different criteria. And your criteria for a romantic comedy would be quite different than your criteria for an action movie. So your first step really, once you choose your topic, is to come up with a list of the criteria that are used to evaluate that thing. Judgment. Your judgment is your overall statement about the quality of something. It's usually not going to be all good or all bad. You want to look at those criteria and in one or two sentences explain what your overall view of the quality of your subject is. So for example, if I'm evaluating a particular company called Johnson Construction, this might be my statement. Johnson Construction provides the highest quality, most professional work in the region if you're willing to pay their premium price and wait a while to get on their calendar. Notice that this statement also gives a little bit of a roadmap of what I'm going to talk about in my essay. Obviously, I'm going to talk about their high quality and their professionalness, but I'm also going to talk about prices and how difficult it is to get scheduled with them. Reasons and support. This is the body of your essay, your argument, where you prove that that judgment is correct. You have to show readers what your reasoning and your evidence is in order for them to believe you. So a lot of the evidence is going to come from your firsthand examination of the subject or your experience with the subject. Some of you could probably write a complete evaluation without doing any research, depending on what your topic is, but I do ask that you do additional research. So for my topic, Johnson Construction, an example of firsthand evidence would be the prices that Johnson Construction charged me. And some evidence I might get from research would be average prices for contractors in this region to compare whether Johnson Construction's prices are average, above average, below average, etc. So for each of the criteria that you examine, you'll kind of have like a mini judgment and some firsthand evidence and potentially also secondhand research evidence to support your view. Organizing the essay. So page 330 lists the 4 different things that your essay needs to do. And notice that they don't necessarily have to be in this order. You need to present the subject. So explain, what is this thing you're evaluating for people who may not be familiar with it? So I would need some sort of an introduction and an overview of the Johnson Construction Company. You know, how long have they been in business? What sort of construction work do they do? How big of a company is it? That kind of thing. Then your judgment. So that's what we talked about before, your overall statement of the quality of your subject. And then your presentation of reasons and support. So within the different criteria that you're looking at, what makes this subject good or bad, effective or ineffective, strong or weak? Somewhere along the line, you also need to consider alternate judgments. So not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone thinks that Ronaldo is better than Massini or Massini is better than Ronaldo. I can't remember which way that paper termed it. And not everyone believes that Labyrinth is a great movie for adults and children alike. So you have to anticipate what other people might think and address those concerns somewhere in the paper. And sometimes you can do it at the very beginning, particularly if your view is quite controversial. You might start with what most people say and then move on to explain why you disagree. Other times you might want to put that at the end. Sometimes you may want to just put it in the middle with each criteria that you look at, each piece of criteria that you look at.